Okay. Um, so I have that event, and it is the #1 multi-city natural hair meetup in the world. Through the creation of that event, I have coached, counseled, mentored, trained event planners literally from around the world to hold events. I have over 15 years of event planning experience, everything from weddings to birthday parties to funerals to workshops to family fun days to any conferences, all sorts of things. So I have various types of experience. I have a degree in public relations and journalism and an English minor. I started studying personal branding and branding in 2003, so I have experience in that area. I blog sometimes. I do just a little bit of everything, so I know just enough to be dangerous. And I can at least get you started on a path. And if nothing else, I can give you the benefit of an opinion, like, because I'm never short of that. So I can at least get you started. I can at least give you a direction to go in. Yay! Oh, thank y'all. Y'all are so sweet. So usually Monday through Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my 10 at 10, for those of you that may be new to my block on the Scoposphere, I actually usually do like a topic, and I give I give, certain things, like I'll give a list of 10 things whether it is mindset shifts like I did last night, or action steps, or resources. Thank you. I appreciate that. Or tools, things to help you discover and develop and deploy your purpose. I know he has. He can probably recite it along with me. Hey, hubby. Or to help you be more productive, or just to help you in your life in general. Like, yay, I'm so glad you're here live. So that's essentially what I do. But tonight, I had nothing. Like, I have a list of topics, but I didn't want to talk about any of them. So I've decided to make tonight's 10 at 10 a viewer's choice live Q&A with me. Some of you left, well, actually only a couple of you left a couple of questions on Instagram. No one, I don't think, left me any questions on Twitter, so we can start with those. You can also leave your questions in the comments, and I'm answering questions about various things. So we can talk about leadership, building the team, networking. Thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed last night. Networking, marketing, content marketing, event planning, branding, purpose, productivity, whatever you want to talk about, whatever questions you have for me, I will try to answer them. Well, not whatever question, but most questions. Thank you. I so appreciate that. But most questions, like I said, I at least have an opinion about it, and I'll be more than happy to share that with you about most things. All right. So while you all are typing away your questions, I am going to answer questions. Okay. Now, so the way this is going to work is I don't want to just ramble on. So if you have a particular question about a particular subject, then please ask as specific a question as you possibly can, so I can really, really be laser focused in my answer that'll best help you. So, oh, I do have a couple questions. All right. SiteGround. I'm sorry I missed that. Oh, one tip for you, if you will, as you're typing, if you'll copy whatever it is that you are typing, in case I miss it, and then you won't have to completely type it again. You can just paste it in and put it in there. But if you can sort of help me with, if you see a question pop up, then hold yours so I don't forget. That would be awesome. Or again, copy it, and in case I do forget, then you can go ahead and paste it again. I'm going to also try to record at least maybe what the topic is so that I can answer it. But if in case I missed it, Instagram is my preferred social media tool. How many times should I post each day? Really depends on your audience. I would say, so Instagram is her preferred social media tool. How many times should she post a day? I would say anywhere from 4 to 8 to 10 times a day. Anywhere from 4 to 10 times a day is what I think is average. And if you will sign up for, yes, SiteGround was the host company. I will tell you in just a second. Hold on to that. For Instagram, I would sign up for a program called Icono Square, Square. And you'll log in with your Instagram account, and it'll run some stats for you. One of the stats that it's going to run is sort of your peak times of engagement. So you will know. Switch it up, please. Yay! Hi. How are you? Yay! Long Island Naturals. Yes. Woo. Yes. I know you. So one of the, you should use Icono Square to kind of see when you are getting the Icono, ICONO Square, all one word. ICONO. Yes. What Cherie put. Icono Square. Use that, log in. You can get a free account. It should run some stats for you, and it should give you one of the stats that it runs. And I forget what tab it's under, but it'll show you the peak times, or the times where that you get the most engagements, and it's kind of dots. So the bigger the dot, the more engagement that you get. And so you're going to really want to look at that, because that is ideally when you want to post, especially your most engaging content, or if you're trying to sell tickets, things like that. That's when you want to post that type of content. But anywhere from 4 to 10 times a day you want to post on Instagram, because now I think it's up to somewhere around 75, 80 million posts a day on Instagram. So you don't want to get lost in the shuffle by only posting once. You can definitely post in the morning, like early in the morning, as soon as you can, so that you catch people before work. You may want to do somewhere around the lunch hour, between 11 and 1, between 4 and 6, and then around 8. And then you can post some more after that, between 8 and the time you go to bed. Those are sort of the times that I do that. And if you do one post at least during those times, then you'll start to get some traction. The most important thing to do on Instagram when you are using it is to use hashtags. People search and use Instagram, their explore tool and their search tool, for to search various hashtags. So if you are not hashtagging your post, you are doing yourself a major disservice, So make sure that you are using appropriate hashtags for as many of your posts as possible. Yes, use hashtags. So if you are in the natural hair community, you should have, I would say in terms of hashtags, it really depends on what it is that you're posting about. For natural hair, I usually use anywhere from like 10 to 15 hashtags. If you're posting a pic about your, I missed that one. Oh, okay, that's awesome. Yes, you should. I mean, unless it's a personal post that really, isn't content based, and it's just, you're showing something about yourself, you don't necessarily have to use hashtags. Sometimes the hashtags are just like quirky little things, or they're like shady, sarcastic or something. So you don't have to use that. And you can also go back and search your hashtag, or add hashtags if you don't use them in every post. See, yes, look at that. She followed what I said the other night on IG and got 10 followers that day. I'm telling you, hashtags work. If you want to increase your followership, and especially followers that are within your niche, okay? Okay, absolutely. Good evening, how are you? So and especially when you're using hashtags within your niche in order to gain access to or gain followers within your hopefully ideal target and community, Yes, absolutely. Yes, save your hashtags to your notes on your phone or as a note in Evernote, and absolutely, it makes it that much easier. You don't even have to think about it and worry if you've missed something. You can add more hashtags to it if you want to. Now, you will get to a limit probably, but then you can always break it up and leave it as 2 different comments if you want to. You Yeah, sometimes you do get some spam, but when you are engaged with your audience and when you are engaged with your platform, it's so simple to just delete and block those people. I do that all the time because those 1 or 2 spams that I get really is not that big of a deal to me if I get 10 or 20 new followers that are authentic and people that I want to be connected with me. Yeah, just delete and block. That's all I do because I know it kind of comes with the territory. And so in order to gain access and to get connected with my followers, you have to endure some of that. Okay, remember that question. I'm not done with that other one. Okay, niche hashtag sending potential customers to others in your opinion on niche hashtag sending potential customers to others in the industry. I mean, I'm not sure that I understand what you're saying. If you're posting, is it okay? I wouldn't post the same hair pic 4 to 10 times daily. Um, I wouldn't post the same hair pic 4 to 10 times daily. Would post maybe different angles. I would post maybe up to 4 times because you have front, side, and back. So, I mean, I would maybe do that. But honestly, you can do a collage and put all of those pictures in there. But if it is like for a client, I would post the before, I would post, in process, I would post the after. I would post maybe, a part of the treatment or the services that you provide. If you're doing a deep conditioning, talk about the tools that you use in that, like a brush for applying the conditioner and the cap and all of that kind of stuff, just stuff like that. It can be all related, but I don't know that I would post the same picture. That's where people tend to start unfollowing because they think that it is kind of spammy or, so I would try different things, but that are different pictures that are talking about the same thing. It really depends. It really depends and varies how far out you should post them. So if you're doing a client and you sort of want to share the process with them, then you take pictures at various intervals. And so maybe you show them before, or maybe you get someone in the salon or get someone to take a picture of you just consulting with them before you start the services. And then you maybe get someone to take a picture of you shampooing their hair, and then you get someone to show, or, you can just do different things along with that process and just talk about it. And the caption can be something related to that, showing your expertise, showing how you interact with your clients, showing the care that you have, showing that it is really just you and the client and maybe the person taking the picture that is in there, and not like all these other people, because a lot of people nowadays, they don't want to be in a hugely crowded space and with a whole lot of people. Like, they want that kind of one-on-one service because they also don't want to be in there and stay all day. So you can space it out like that, and because all of the pictures are different, you don't have to worry about it being really spammy, and it's telling a story. Do I own a nice camera? I mean, I have access to one, but I don't own one, and I don't keep one with me. A lot of my friends, especially my blogger friends, they invest in the Canons and the T3s and all that kind of stuff. I don't really have that. I use my iPad. I use my my phone, and I do have an HD camcorder, like a little small camcorder for a video. But honestly, between my iPhone and my iPad and my iPad mini, I'm good usually. So that's just me. And I also have access to a MacBook. And like I said, I do have a small camcorder that I can use to record video if I wanted to have HD video quality footage there. For me, that's not a required purchase for me. For some people it is. And you know, for some people, when you talk to bloggers that are experienced, they say that you need to invest in that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but for me, that's not one of my top priorities. So, and I've done pretty well without it. So, I mean, if you have discretionary income and you can afford it, by all means, do it. It's a great investment. If you don't, I think if your camera is decent and the camera phone is decent, and you maybe have access to, you have the latest iPad, then you may be okay. Okay. Now, but if you're a fashion blogger and you're taking like outfit of the day pictures, I do think you need to have a nice camera. And so sometimes when I really want to take some nice pictures, I'll get my camera and use that instead of my phone. But most of the time it's just my phone. Okay, let's see. Someone asked me about y'all know Periscope won't let me be great. So if you will share it, I would be, thank you, appreciate it. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the hearts, yay. I feel like I am a jack of all trades. How can thank you, how can I narrow it down? For those of you that are just joining me, this is the first time on the scope tonight. We're doing a viewer Q&A for the 10 at 10, so I'm answering questions. And that question was about purpose and feel like you are a jack of all trades. How can you narrow it down? So because I am a multi-passionate entrepreneur, I guess I need to narrow down what. So what do you feel like? Is it different niches? Is it different platforms? Thank you, I appreciate it. Is it different? I guess I'm trying to figure out exactly what you're trying to narrow down. So if you can let me know that, that would be awesome. Okay. Okay, so for me, I don't think you have to narrow that down because those things are like this. They're like second cousins, in my opinion. So I don't think that you have to narrow that focus personally. And I think that they are tied and linked together. So are you feeling overwhelmed by trying to have to focus on both of them? I'm not really, help me understand what your like issue is. Or is it because you feel like you should only focus on one thing? So really quick, I'm going to give a partial answer to the person that asked about how are people able to view. They have to click in to see it. Great lifestyle blog. I'm sorry, I missed that part of the question, and hold that question until I'm finished with this, okay? So no, I don't. Well, if you feel like it should be one thing, then I would probably say nutrition over natural hair. in my opinion. If you feel like you absolutely have to, prediction methods or B2B, I'm not at all sure what you're talking about. So if you can um, give me some more clarification, but hold just a second, please, while I'm answering this question so I don't get confused and confuse people on my rebroadcast as well. So, so here's the thing with that. If you feel like you need to focus on one thing, then I would say nutrition, because you can reference natural hair if you want to and how it can impact the care of your hair or the health of your hair. And so, well, I mean, that's my thing. Like, I don't feel like you should have to, but if someone is, I still am not understanding what your question is. But if you can ask your question again, maybe I can understand what you're talking about and I can answer it for you. So, because like I said, I'm multi-passionate. I talk about hair, fashion, beauty, leadership, purpose, productivity. It's all tied together because I'm a multi-dimensional being, as we all are. But I did recommend to a client that if you have to, oh, okay. You're talking about for a major? Hold on to your networking question, okay? So if you, I just really feel like you can do both. So I did tell a client, spend 1 week doing your nutrition post. Maybe do 2 posts or 3 posts or up to 4 posts. So 2 posts the week that you're writing all of the nutrition ones, 2 posts the week, and the next week you work on natural hair content. And then you write up to 4 posts or 4 pieces of content for that, and 2 posts of the nutrition post there, 2 posts of the natural hair there. And then on the week when you rotate back to nutrition, you do 2 posts of the nutrition that post that week with the 2 posts that you wrote the previous week. So you can kind of rotate it like that. It takes discipline, and it takes yes, and it takes just a little bit of creativity and planning in terms of knowing what you're going to do, which one you're going to do this week and which one you're going to do the next. If you need that much discipline, if you want to be a little bit more organic, you absolutely can do that. And if it's blogging that you're talking about, you just need to make sure that you're tagging things so that people can search for your nutrition post and they can search for your natural hair post. Okay. So for the person that's talking about whether or not you should do B2B or prediction stats, I think B2B, I'm not sure what framework you're talking about, but I always think that B2B is great. But honestly, prediction stats are going to be great. So as part of the 1K 1 day with Natural Nicole, one of the people that we're supposed to have in our coin collective is a data guru. So, you know, being adept at data collection, data analysis, data management is always a skill that is going to pay dividends, because there is just a small subset of people that like it, that are good at it, that want to do it. So from that perspective, if it's something that you're good at, something that you like doing, I think data collection and data research and management and analysis is always a good route to go, because a lot of people don't want to do it. Hi, Rosalina. Great to meet you. All right, so somebody asked me, oh, well then that's not for you then, boo. Have you ever trademarked something? And if so, is this an easy? It can be an easy process, but it's just a lengthy process. So you have to have patience. I would suggest contacting Wheelhouse Legal, WHEELHOUSE legal.com. Yes, I am in the 1K 1 day group. Yes. I am a rich friend. So I would say, to contact Wheelhouse Legal. Hey, how are you? And contact them about their services, because they are, that is Natural Nicole and her husband, Josh, who do that. So they absolutely can help you with the trademark process. Some people have done it themselves, and it ended up, for some people it ended up costing them a little bit more money because they kind of made some mistakes along the way and that sort of thing. So you may want to, if you only have a budget or only have a limited amount of money to spend, you may want to shop around and see, but definitely try Wheelhouse Legal first for that, because they're going to treat you right. I do know that much. So they're going to treat you right. I hope that helps answer your question. SiteGround. So in terms of, SiteGround is a web hosting platform or web hosting company. What do I do for a living? I'm a social media manager at a university. SiteGround is a web hosting platform, and it has like 3 different accounts. So I have the middle account, which is like Go Geek or something, Grow Geek, something like that. It's trademarking affordable or expensive. It depends, but it is more semi-expensive to expensive, depending on what you consider expensive. SiteGround is a web hosting platform. So my middle account, I can have numerous websites that I host with that, and it costs me $160 a year, but I have 3 sites up there. And if you know anything about web hosting plans, a year's worth of web hosting can easily run you that same amount, anywhere from $80 to $100 to $120+ a year, depending on, all of what you have with it. So for me to be able to run 3 sites and looking at a 4th off of one account is great. It is stellar for me. And all of my sites are WordPress. And so I'm able to manage all of that from one place with just this flat fee, this annual fee. So I hope that answers your question. All right. Somebody was asking some networking questions. Yes. So SiteGround, I would definitely check them out. Like I said, I did a lot of shopping, and it was at a time where it was kind of like I needed to get this done, but I was kind of like at that 23rd day of the month kind of thing. So, your money get funny right before the end of the month. And so I really had to be very strategic with my purchases and seeing how I was going to make it work. So yeah, right. I told y'all what I get paid in by the state. So people are asking about networking. Someone asked about when you first move to an area, what are some ways to network? And then another one asked, how do you, well, like I said, I have an unlimited amount, a number of sites that I can run with my account. So I only have 3 right now. So, hi, how are you? Good to see you. Who is that? Oh yeah, hey. Wheelhouse Legal, so add legal to the end of that, .com. Hey. Yep, they are both Blue. I heard good things about Bluehost as well. So you just kind of have to shop around. I do not recommend GoDaddy for hosting at all. Don't. It's great for, buying domains and stuff like that, but not hosting. That's why I had to leave, because my site crashed twice. And you're talking about years worth of blog posts that I thought I lost, and I almost, Squarespace, I hear good things about that. I don't know anything about Squarespace at all. Yes, I don't fool with GoDaddy and hosting, because I will fly out to Arizona or wherever they are based and fight somebody over losing my website. I will push you down over that. An hour call with me is that much? Yes, it is. So, but you can go to bit.ly/discovery purpose call. The D, the P, and the C are capitalized, and you can schedule a 30-minute discovery purpose call with me. All right. So somebody was asking about networking, moving and networking, going to a major event, and you're more introverted and networking. So here's the thing, for the person that has moved, here's what I recommend. I do recommend, always feel so uncomfortable walking into a networking event when I don't know anyone. Story of my life. So I'll tell you how I sort of navigate through that. For those that relocate, and especially relocate to areas far, discovery purpose call. The D, the P, and the C in discovery purpose call are all capitalized. So it's bit.ly/discovery purpose call. So for those that that have moved, and especially if you've moved out of state or far away and you don't really know anyone in that area, yes, that's it. This is what I suggest. The first year that you are there, to join the Chamber of Commerce. And yes, it might be kind of expensive. They may have some deal or something like that, or they may have an opportunity for you to attend an event free of charge the first time or something like that. But I absolutely think you should join the Chamber of Commerce. That is going to be a great networking opportunity for you. And especially if maybe if you're moving to an area and you're either not working or you're not in a company that has, you know, like a diverse group of people or pretty large, anything like that, I would suggest joining the Chamber of Commerce. They usually have like a business after hours. They have ribbon cuttings and open houses. They have trainings. They have opportunities for you to meet and connect and network with people. So for me, that would be a good investment that first year. If you stay a member, then that's fine. But that first year, in terms of really getting out in the community, and that's the thing, like you have to get out in the community, and that's a good way to do it. You're going to meet people that are like you. Another thing that I would suggest is to your Facebook, your Instagrams, even your Twitters, to connect with people, to say, hey, I'm new to this area. Where are, you know, this type of people? Where do they network? Or I'm looking for opportunities to network. I'm new to the area. Okay. I'm new to the area. How can I connect with people in the area? And, you know, a lot of times people, if they don't live in that area, if I were to see that on Facebook and I knew someone that lived in the area, I would make a Facebook introduction between the two of you all. And that's actually what I did with my friend. My friend left Charlotte and moved to Indianapolis last month. Well, yeah, last month. And I have a friend that lives in Indianapolis, and so I connected the two of them, and they have been able, like my friend has been able to help my other friend as she has relocated and settled in there. So I absolutely would make social media. Yes, you can use hashtags in that as well, and just say, well, like on Facebook, your Facebook friends, you just say on your Facebook profile, hey, I'm moving to California. If you have any connections in California, if you have any friends that could maybe help me, or, you know, that I could call on as I relocate, I would greatly appreciate it. People will help you with that. They will say, I know a guy, or my friend from college, my former roommate, whatever. They will try to connect you like that. If you're on Twitter or Instagram, then you can hashtag it, but you want to be careful too. Like, you don't want to like get some crazy stalker stranger person trying to connect with you. But I would limit that. I would start on Facebook with making those connections. So that's what I suggest for those that. No, I did not, because I used templatesmint.com. Yeah, stranger danger, absolutely. Should I? It depends on what those projects are and what the experience is. So if it's relatable to the job that you're applying for, the internship, then yes. If it's not, then no. So in terms of networking as well, if you have it, for those of you that may be a little shy, yes, that's it. For those that may be a little bit shy, I understand, because I understand. Yes, to the crab legs. You know, I love me some crab legs. So I would, I say this, I am an extrovert. I always test as an extrovert, but I have introvert tendencies. Like I can be on, I'm on up here, but I immediately shut down as soon as this is over because I got to withdraw. I got to retreat. I have to do that. And that's one of the main characteristics of an introvert is that the ability to have to um, withdraw from yourself. I'm sorry, I missed that. Would it be feasible for me to talk to Periscope? I didn't get the end of that. So I completely get it. So here's the thing that I say for introverts. You have to do almost kind of trick or psych yourself into networking at an event. So you would need to, first realize that, this is for my good. This is so I can build my network and my connections and have access to people. But here is also an opportunity for me to expand myself and to push myself a little bit out of my comfort zone. See, the difference between an extrovert and an introvert when we're at a networking event is an extrovert kind of flits around the room. Like every time you look up, they're in a different space in the room. When I know I am I'm meeting an introvert or I'm in my introverted state, we tend to stay in one spot. And so you can absolutely do that. You can stay in one area if you want to, but maybe strategically plant yourself. So maybe plant yourself by the bar or the food or something like that, or plant yourself in the middle of the room so people kind of, have to walk around you or walk near you. And then it sometimes is a little bit easier to strike up conversations with people. If you do know somebody, if you walk in the room and you recognize a face, then just go over, extend your hand, say hi, how are you doing? You don't have to have long drawn out conversations with people, but you can, just make small talk and just say, hey, it was great seeing you, take care. Let's do lunch sometime, or give me a call, shoot me an email or something like that, because that's a polite thing to do, especially if you enjoyed your conversation with that person. I would also say, as an introvert, I would maybe have a couple of questions that I'm interested in asking, especially if it's a networking event. So one of the things that I ask is like, what is it that you do? And so that people love to talk about themselves. So it takes the spotlight off of me. I'm a great listener when it comes to that. And so once I get them sort of talking, a lot of times it triggers additional questions. And so that's how I have a conversation, right? So, I caution against a tremendous consumption of alcohol at any sort of event, especially if it's a professional networking event. And because I work at a university, we absolutely have to be able to teach our students how to network responsibly, drink responsibly, even at a networking event. So if you go to a networking event, you will see like nobody is there to get sloshed. That's why most networking events are just beer and wine. And no one is really there to have, I would not have 2 to 3 beers. I would not. You need to have one, and you need to hold on to it and sip it throughout the day, not 2 or 3. I'm trying to give you some tips to help you function at events so you don't have to have these 2 to 3 beers, because people, they may not say anything to you, they may laugh at what you're saying, but they're going to know that you're tipsy or that you're bordering on being drunk, and you don't want to get that reputation at all. So whenever I go to a networking event, yes, they are always watching. I have maybe 1 glass of wine, and I do try to make sure that I eat a little something before, so that I'm not consuming alcohol on an empty stomach. So I may have a glass of wine, or I may hold a glass of wine in my hand sometimes, especially if it's open bar, it's free. I'm gonna do it. And then, I just kind of work around the room from there. As an introvert, you may want to have a couple of questions so you can ask them what it is that they do. That may trigger follow-up questions. But then you can also ask them, why do you attend events like this? What is the benefit for you? And what do you typically do with the people you meet after an event like this? And especially if you are new to the area, or you can ask them, well, where are some other places that I can go to meet people like you? Then you might get an invitation to church, or you might get an invitation to some other sort of civic group or charity work or what have you. So because again, you're asking them about them, you're sort of shining the light on them, and people love to talk about themselves. They get a kick out of it a lot of times. So you can ask those sorts of questions. So I would have a couple of questions in my mind. If you have to write them down and put them in your phone, then do that you can refer to and ask people when you're going to a networking event. So I really do hope that helps the introverts in the room. Again, plant yourself in a strategic place that may be high traffic. Ask questions, ask other people questions about themselves, and then even ask some questions about where are other places you can go to meet people like them, or other ways that you can connect in the community. So that was let's see what else. The question that someone just asked about Beachbody and what you should scope about. I think that you have to talk about the benefits. You have to talk about the high. You have to talk about why they should consider this program as opposed to other options. And not really that you're dissing other options, but you really, again, it's sort of like a take on the benefits of that. And you really, I would say you might want to also, because I'm not familiar with Beachbody, you might want to break some parts of it apart and talk about it from that perspective. But then really what you want to do is find content that supports what it is that Beachbody does. So if it is some sort of exercise regimen, then you want to talk about why you need to add crunches as part of your everyday workout routine. And if there is a Beachbody regimen that includes that is an ab regimen, then you can talk about that. If it is something like that has vitamins or something like that, talk about the need to add extra vitamin D to your supplements or to your nutrition plan, because so many people suffer from vitamin D deficiency, and what that really means, and the problems that it can cause that you may not even know are directly related to a vitamin D deficiency. So yes, you can talk about nutrition as well. Those are just a few things that I think, because again, I'm not that familiar with Beachbody, so I'm going to have to do some reading on that because I'm not familiar with what you all offer. So I hope that helps a little bit. Some questions that I got via Instagram. Do you think a blog is necessary when starting a brand to market yourself? What is your niche or your industry? What kind of projects can and should a marketing student get into while studying for 2 to 3 exams? I'm not, you talking about projects at school or projects with clubs and organizations, or what? Beauty. Yes, you should have a blog. You should have a blog, you should Periscope, and you should have YouTube. Are you talking about personal projects, or yes, you should have a blog as well? Because from a graphic design perspective, you can talk to potential clients and talk to them about, show them some differences in, about white space, and about how, the design they think looks good in their head doesn't translate quite as well on paper, but finding a really nice way of saying that, right? What about mentoring? So yes, I do think mentoring, I'm not sure what you mean by mentoring, blogging about mentoring. Okay. So as a marketing student, if you are trying to gain some valuable experience, a lot of times you can find that via clubs and organizations, because they need marketing expertise and guidance. So by joining, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be the marketing club or anything like that. It can definitely be, sure, gotcha. But you can definitely tailor it or start a different blog for your graphic design. But you can be the marketing person for a sorority or fraternity, or for a business club or a social club, or Christian organization, what have you. So you don't, and that experience is real, is quantifiable, and is translatable. No, not every beauty topic has been done, and even if it has, so what? We talk about the same things every year anyway. We talk about lipstick trends. Like, how many different shades of red lipstick can there really be? And the lipstick trends vary. So this year it's red. Next year it is burgundy. The next year it is wine. Then the year after that is plum. Like, they're all the same thing. So I mean, and your view is your view, and people are going to relate to what you say. Here's what I have said. If you are new to my block on the scoposphere, I said this the other night, and I meant it from the bottom of my soul. Blogging is not dead, and anyone that says it is lying to you. There's always need for your voice, and there's always someone that will read what it is that you have to say, that will consume the content that you have. None of us are one-trick ponies. I don't just read one blogger. I don't read one author. I don't watch just one Periscoper. I don't watch just one YouTuber. So while you may not have 1 million followers, you can at least have 1,000. So, and same thing with blogging. People like diversity of thoughts. Take care. They like diversity of opinions. And so it is extremely important that you find your voice and that you be authentic in it, and you share from that vantage point. Because again, I feel like everyone needs your voice. One thing that you can sort of start working on a little bit is looking at all the beauty topics that have been done, and is there an angle that nobody has talked about, or is there an angle that you like that that nobody really talks about? I like stuff like that. So for instance, I talk about different things. So when Beyonce dropped that surprise album a few years ago, I talked about it from a branding perspective, not from a musical perspective, which is what everyone was talking about. I talked about it from a branding perspective and how it was genius. And people loved my post. Highest post ever on my website. But I came in from a different angle. I was talking about something that nobody else was talking about. When Beck won all of those things, all of the Grammys this year, I talked about how to Beckerize your brand. People were all up in arms because Beck won. I was like, no, Beck has done this before. This is not new. And this is how you can do that. This is how you can all of a sudden kind of pop on the scene, and people think that you're new, but you're not. So, you can always find a different angle. Look at the back door, come in the side window, shimmy down the chimney, lift the roof off, do something a little bit different, have a different take on it. When you're talking about lipstick, add fashion into it. Add, here are 5 different ways you can wear a red lippy. Here, just different things. So while we talk about the same things, you can always talk about it from different angles. So somebody was asking about blogging and mentoring in a youth organization. What about it? Whether or not you should blog about your mentoring organization. I hope that helped. So if you're talking about whether or not you should start a blog for your mentoring organization, yes. There are all kinds of subjects around mentoring, and one angle that you can always take is effective mentoring, because people think they're mentoring people and they really are not. And so you can, yes, and to get the organization out there and to also establish yourself as an expert in that area. And so by doing that, not only does it add credibility to you as an expert, but it lends credibility to your organization because they realize that, oh, she really knows her stuff. And so, I know if I partner with her organization or if I send my child to her organization, that they're going to get good stuff. Someone asked about what you should put on your business card. So here is the thing. You should have all of the pertinent information, in my opinion, including your P.O. box, your name, your email address, your website, your social media handles, which should be the same across the board. So you can literally just have all the little icons across the top, and your social media name or names if it's multiple ones that you want to put on one card. Some people say that you should have multiple cards. And you can, because I have one that's for Trendy Socialite and one that's for Adeea R. Rogers. So you can have, like, I'm probably going to limit it to those two, but I do need to update them. So I don't know that I would order 1,000 of some, because as you are building your brand and your business, things may change. You may add things. So like now I really need to redesign my cards to include some other things, like now my Periscope handle and some other stuff like that. So that's just something to think about when you're doing it. So I wouldn't have 6 different cards, you just fanning them out. Be like, pick a card, any card. Oh, you want to talk about this? Here's that card. Oh, you want to talk about that? Here's that card. I'd rather for you to have kind of one even umbrella and portal where people can contact you, and then you funnel them where they need to go. Hi, how are you? And so rather than people always having to pick where they feel like they need to go, you find out what it is that they want and how they want to connect with you, and then you sort of funnel them in the right direction from that point. Customer service wise, that's the best thing to do, in my opinion. All right. Someone had, is a person that's the independent author there. I know, me too. I probably have more than 200 that I'm gonna throw away, but I can probably still hand them out. So, is a person that's the independent author still here? Just say yes, me, something, so I can answer your question. It's a person that asked me on Instagram, Kade's Walk, any tips on in-person networking at events? Oh, well, I kind of answered that question. You can use them if they're not double-sided, because all of my business cards are double-sided. You can use them to put other things up there. Janome here, are you still here? I think I saw you. Okay, good, great. All right, here you go. Janome here asked me, I'm a new small business currently building my brand. I get approached to sponsor events all the time, love doing them, but is it ever okay to decline? And I missed whatever that was right there. So you don't have to copy and paste it and repeat it for me again. Some events, is it ever okay to decline? All right, Janome, here you go. This is your answer, finally. Yes, it is absolutely okay for you to say no. So here's my thing. And you can determine how you want to, no, it was me. It's me, not you. So here's what I would say in terms of how you can sort of determine that. So you can do it a couple of different ways. You can, at the beginning of the year, whatever you want that year to be, your fiscal year, you can determine how many events you may want to do. sort of as a maximum, or how much money you ultimately want to spend in those sorts of areas and avenues in terms of sponsorships. And once you reach that, so the question is, I'm a new small business currently building my brand. I get approached to sponsor events all the time. I love doing them, but is it ever okay to decline? And the answer is yes. So I said she can either set aside a number of events that she may do in the course of a year, or set a dollar amount to that, or both. And once you reach that threshold, once you reach that limit, then you either blanketly say no, or you are very, very, very selective at that point as to how you further extend yourself. And I'm not even saying like in that period leading up to reaching your limit that you take everyone that you come across. You don't. You absolutely should exercise discretion. For me, if I don't sponsor events, I get sponsored a lot. But for me, if I were to do that, and in talking to my brand owner friends, you know, if their email was a mass email, and you can tell if it had like no personalization in it at all, and it was if it was full of grammatical mistakes, if it was only one sentence, if the proposal was a Word document, because I don't believe in that. You need to save it as a PDF. Every Microsoft Word will allow you to save things as a PDF. So if you send me a Word document, one, it means I can edit it. Two, it means that that's not really the professional preferred way to do that. So exactly. I did a whole webinar last week on building sponsorship relationships. And so if I were you, I would really look for, I would look for reasons to exclude people. And I hate to say it like that, but there are so many people out here in these streets that are perpetrating a fraud when it comes to that, and not really being as responsible as they should be. So you need to look for reasons to almost say no. And their presence has to convince you to say yes. So, looking at them on social media and Instagram, and if they don't provide the information, and if you can't find it, then before you say yes, you need to ask for their website and their Instagram and their Twitter and their Facebook page. If you have never met this person, you've never heard of them, because this, honestly, especially in the natural hair community, this community is relatively small, and I know a lot of the event planners. I know a lot of them. So, and I definitely know the good ones. So if there are other people that are popping up on the scene, not saying that there's anything wrong with that, because it's not. I want I want natural hair events especially to happen everywhere. That's what INH&D is all about. But at the same time, if they are new and they're not really knowing how to do things, and you're, unfortunately, as a brand, not getting the most bang for your buck. So I would spend a little bit of time doing some research. And also, one thing that would disqualify them is if it was like too short a notice. So yeah, they'll look them up and look for reasons why it could possibly be a no. You can also like negotiate. I can't do it at this level, but I can send you a coupon code, or I can send you a giveaway, or I can send you 5 full-size products for a giveaway, or for your VIP bags or something like that. You can maybe negotiate if you can't do that. And especially for the events that you don't feel all that comfortable with, because what you kind of don't want is to give stuff to an event that's like, and then an event that you really want to do comes along and you're like, dang it. So you just want to be careful with that, and just really, really weigh it out. If you don't feel good about it, then don't do it. It's okay. You don't even really have to give so much of a reason. You can just say, unfortunately, at this time, I'm not going to be able to sponsor your event. Thank you so much for your requests. I get inundated with requests, and unfortunately, I can't fulfill them all as an emerging business. So you don't have to say that your stuff was not together, sister. So you can just kind of handle it like that. I hope that helps you. All right. So I don't know if she's up here, but Married with Twins. Okay, I'll answer your question. What sites would you recommend? Okay, good. What sites would you recommend for WordPress themes? Oh God, I think it's Envacto, Envacto Market or something like that. They have a lot of WordPress themes up there. I got my WordPress theme from templatesmint.com, TEMPLATESMINT.com. So you can check those out. The Templates Mint one, for $49, you had access to everything that was on their site. I mean, they had like probably a few dozen different sites and pages and templates and what have you. And so they're kind of similar in nature, but they work for me. So you can look at those two sites, I believe. You can do that. All right, so Married with Twins said, change my IG name for branding purposes. Now that I know what direction I'm heading in, I changed my brand website to just my name. Should I change my IG handle again? Too soon? Ideally, my brand name will be consistent across all social media platforms. No, it is not too soon. You can absolutely change your IG name back to your name or whatever you want it to be at this point. For most of us, it is more important for it to be consistent. If you want to do a post or say, you know, I'm still here, but I'm now under this name in case people are like, who is this person? I don't recognize this username. Then you can do that. But other than that, I would kind of unceremoniously change it and see what happens. No point in stirring up stuff or stirring up stuff that doesn't matter. Yes, they should be alike, and you should not have an egg. You should not have an egg. Everyone on Periscope should have a picture or a logo or something. No eggs. Yes. No, yes. Please try not to put numbers unless it is part of the title. So like Married with Twins works because the 2 is part of the title. But you know, like Shake Your Booty 1922 doesn't work. Oh, good. Awesome. Because I never remember the numbers. So I might remember Shake Your Booty, but I'm not going to remember 1922. And so I'm not going to find you, and I'm going to be mad, and then I'm not going to want to buy anything from you. So yes. You need to look for some variations if your name that you're looking for is not available on one of the platforms. So for me, like when I was doing my name on one of the platforms or the website, my name wasn't available. I'm like, who has Adeea Rogers? Like, really? So so I had to put the R in it. And so that's what it is across all of my platforms. So on Instagram, Twitter, and my website, and my Facebook page, it's all Adeea R. Rogers. So I would play with some variations on that. Again, I would not add numbers to the end, especially. I would be very, very careful with the underscores. I don't care for underscores either because I always forget where they are, especially if you're trying to divide up a word and make me, you know, like read it out and know that it's different kinds of things. But if it's the underscore at the end, I can deal with it. But it's when the underscore is in the middle and I'm like, is it between the and the black? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a fan of them, but I will deal with them if I have to. But I always forget where they go. So that's why I try to say all one word all together. How about a blog? Should it be constant with your name as well? It doesn't necessarily have to be, in my opinion. So I think that that's one of the things that, as long as it you link to it from your website if it's hosted on a different platform, or if it's not a part of your website, then you can do it like that. But if that's the standalone thing, like the blog itself, then yes, I do think it needs to be consistent across the board. Good evening. Hey, Lydia. How are you? Let's see. So I think it's a person that asked, thank you, I appreciate it. It's a person that asked about suggestions for independent authors still in here. Oh, you had a late night, huh? Oh, you got class and stuff. You had class? Let me see, make sure there's nothing on Twitter. You are most welcome, most welcome. I'm getting ready to hang it up for the night myself. Yes, to the A. My friends be smart. They smart. All right, so it's a person that asked about independent authors still in here? I guess not. Are there any other questions I can answer for you for the 28 other people that are in here? So we're just doing live Q&A. You want to ask me about purpose, branding, event planning, purpose, branding, content marketing, leadership, building a team, whatever. Yay! I'm glad. I still have, oh, it's only 8:30 there. Got you. West Coast time. I have work to do too, but it's 11:30 here, and I'm like, tomorrow's going to be another long day because the group that I advise has their first kickoff event of the year, so that's at 7 o'clock. So I got to stay at work until probably about 9, and I got to be smiling and all juiced up. So, are there any other questions I can answer for you at this time? I'm so excited that I was able to answer some questions for you, because I know sometimes you present content and you're like, but I have a question, but how do you do this? On a lifestyle blog, how many subjects can you cover without it getting diluted and too much? Oh, that's a good question. Because I mean, I guess with everything, there's a line there. But the purpose of it being a lifestyle blog is it is about your life. So there's an endless amount of subjects, so to speak, that go on in your life. When recycling content, how often should we post it? Every day. Just about every day. Like, that's why, I mean, and you're the Hootsuite queen. You be making me sick. So you can have different, for you, Lydia, you can, I'm gonna answer your question in a second. You just hold on a second since you just got here. So for the lifestyle blog, I think that there are multiple ways. There's probably a line. It's going to be very hard for you to reach it. I think that it's the way it's organized, it's how you tag it, it is how you promote it. So yeah, there's probably a limit. I've never really seen anyone reach it, because again, it's about your life. That's why it's called a lifestyle blog. So you talk about cooking and decorating and organization and beauty and fashion and driving your kids to taekwondo and where you went on date night with your husband and the latest TV show. Like, you talk about all those things because it's a part of your life, right? So for me, it's about how it's organized on the blog and how it is tagged. So like with mommy bloggers, especially, it's a very similar thing. They talk about everything under the sun, and people are there for all types of their content. I love lifestyle blogs, and that's what I recommend for people that are just starting to blog. To a great degree, whatever you want. If you feel like you want to cover more than one topic, if you don't want to be known as, because let me tell you something, people will put you in a box. You put yourself or you label yourself as one thing, they will not let go of that label. I don't know, it's so funny because even though we're multi-dimensional beings and we can talk about different things and we have various interests, when it comes to going to your blog or to your site, they are not there for variety. If you say you are a natural hair blogger, that's all they want to see on your site is natural hair posts. They don't want to see no makeup tutorials. They don't want to see no outfits of the day posts. They don't want to see nothing but natural hair posts, and they will let you know quick, fast, and in a hurry if you do something like that. So that's why I advise people now that are looking to start blogging to make themselves a lifestyle blogger, so that they have the option and the choice to talk about whatever it is that they want. Because a lot of my natural hair blogger friends feel stuck, and they feel like they have to build a whole other platform for their whatever their new interests, or what they want to start talking about now. Whereas if you had started as a lifestyle blog, they're more adept and more understanding of different types of content being up there. So yes, you can talk about a multitude of topics on a lifestyle blog. Yes. I hope that helps. So I don't really think you can get to that line unless your site is just like really unorganized and really random. But if you tag everything and you even start sharing stuff with the tags, if you are interested in my natural hair posts on my blog, search here or go here, and you have a link and it has like the hashtag or the tag in it, so it'll pull all of those posts that are related to that. And then people that only want to read your posts on natural hair, they can do that. People that only want to read your recipe posts, they can do that. And so it's going to be important that you organize it like that. And especially on WordPress, you can organize it by that. And so like if you look on my site, adearrogers.com, when you click my blog, there are subjects underneath there. And so if you click on that, everything in that category that I've labeled as that category will pull up all the posts related to that particular topic. So Lydia, for you, in terms of repurposing content and how often you should post it, I really do think you can post it as often as you want. You have a lot of content, so you can do it a couple of different ways. You can set up bulk uploads daily, and maybe you rotate the different kinds of content that you share if you want to. So you have a Monday set, a Tuesday set, a Wednesday set, a Thursday set, or you can repost a lot of things. You're very, very active on Twitter and Facebook, and especially on Twitter, I think it's okay to repost things every day, because like I said the other night, there are 500 million tweets a day. So chances are, and people are following you every day, and your community is growing every day. So what you posted last week or even yesterday, there might be a whole new crop of people that see it today. Because what if I wasn't on Twitter yesterday, but I see your tweets today? So, every day sometimes isn't too much. Take care, especially if it is general content, evergreen content. Okay. How to have a lifestyle blog without exposing our life too much? I don't know that you can. Because the whole point of a lifestyle blog is to show how you use different things in your life. But I'll get back to your question. So Lydia, back to you. So you can do that in a couple of different ways, actually. So you can post it every day, or you can post it every other day. You can do some things once a week if you want to, but some of that evergreen content, you can really post a lot. Yep, I hope that helps. Yes, and Lydia can help with that. She Sophistication, she might have a natural hair site. Oh God, I'm trying to think. What's the lady that like something about vanilla and chocolate. What's that? What's the lady's site? I forget. She is a Caucasian mother that has an African American child. She does some great things, some great sites as well. Yes, there are. If you Google, honestly, natural hair children sites or natural hair children's websites, you'll probably find some. I know that there are some out there, though. I just can't think of them. One, because I don't have no kids. Two, because I don't have no kids. So I don't really know, know them quite like that. So I'm sorry, but yeah, there are some out there, definitely out there. Somebody just, yes, vanilla care, chocolate hair. Yes, that is very, very close. Yep, that's it. If you Google that, how do you go about when you don't want your employer to know about your blog and you want to transition? You want to transition to, yes, chocolate hair, vanilla care. Thank you. You want to transition into working for yourself full time. That is where you are going. Oh, what's your niche? Because it really depends on that. Honestly, I mean, it is so hard to be completely anonymous when it comes to things like that, because so much of any industry, of any niche, when it comes to blogging, is the person that's doing it, and that's how a lot of people connect. I don't know that I have great advice on that, because I don't know that you can ever hide it. Okay, you want to do coaching and webinars, but you don't want your employer to know that you're doing coaching and webinars, which is going to be difficult because you have to advertise to get clients and you have to advertise your webinars. Oh, is my boss aware? Okay. So my current supervisor is not aware that I'm transitioning. My immediate previous supervisor, who I still kind of have this dual dual reporting structure right now, they are aware, but they were just made aware of that recently and they were shocked. Yep. So yes, no, my current supervisor is not aware, but if he were to become aware, I honestly would not care. I really would not at this point, because once I leave, I don't plan on coming back. Like ever. I'm going to do whatever it takes that I don't have to come back. And so I try not to work at work. I'll go to Starbucks, I'll take time off, I'll do whatever. But I think I'm so over that place right now. I really don't care. Don't. But I don't advise that for other people. You do what you got to do to keep yourself provided for and cared for, and your family secure when it comes to that, for as long as you need to. But if you are trying to exit, you need to definitely be diligent about having an exit strategy and working on that, which means, honestly, you don't have to cut out all the extras. A whole lot of watching TV, a whole lot of going out, a whole lot of just lollygagging and wasting time. Like, all of your days, minutes, hours are going to be accounted for, because while you're at work, you need to be working on your brand, you need to be working on your business, you need to be networking and building a place. Like Natural Nicole talks about, you need to be working on building a place for people to go with your money. And so you're going to have to spend every waking moment that you're not at work and that you're not having to deal with family and other obligations on that particular project. So for coaching and doing webinars, It's going to be very, very hard because people use their pictures everywhere. It's going to be very hard for you not to, not to put yourself out there a little bit, because again, people do business with people they like, know, and trust. And I have a hard time buying a webinar or signing up for coaching with someone and I don't see their face. And so if you are trying to keep this from your employer, and you think that in order to do that, you can't show your face, I think it's going to be hard for you to secure clients in that way. That's just me. If you are okay with putting it out there, but you're not going to, obviously I don't want you to be reckless and go hand your business card to your supervisor. But at the same time, if you really are trying to build this, you're going to have to build it. And you'll have to do what you have to do in order to do that. So you kind of have some things you need to weigh and some things you need to figure out. But you need to build a place for them to go, for potential clients and webinar attendees to go. Yeah, oh no, I completely agree with that. And nobody wants to get let go before they're ready, definitely. So I completely understand that. Anything else that I can help you all with tonight? You can catch my replays of this, even this Q&A session, at adearrogers.com/10AT10. That's ADEARROGERS.com/10AT10. So this will be up probably by lunchtime tomorrow. All right. Thank you all so much for everything. And I hope that you have an amazing, amazing night. And I will catch you sometime tomorrow. Take care and be blessed. Bye.